Hey everybody, what's up? This is Mark R. Leonard for aetuts.com, and I'm back with another video tutorial. I know it's been far too long, so I apologize, but I'm really excited what we're talking about today, and we're talking about bit depth. And I don't know if many people are super excited about this, but I am really pumped. I started, trying to figure out what bit depth was quite a while ago, and I've really been getting into it, and it's kind of interesting. It's kind of like a back workings type of thing that's definitely a really cool thing to know, and it can really help you in the future. And I'm going to give you an example at the end of why it's kind of cool to know something about bit depth. Okay, so this diagram I found right here online, and it's a very cool thing that shows basically exactly what bit depth is. And what bit depth is how many gradations a pixel can hold. So right here we have a 1-bit image, or what would represent a 1-bit image. A bitmap image, if you guys have ever heard of that, is a 1-bit image. And basically what this diagram shows is that this pixel can either be on white or off black. Okay? So, and as we move up the little hierarchy here, you see that we have more and more gradations the more bits we have. And I know you guys are like, okay, cool, well, whatever, that's sweet, you can count. Well, I'll show you why that is cool. So down here where it says 8BPC, that's 8 bits per channel, that is essentially what is controlling our depth. So I'm sure you guys have seen, you can change it. I'm just alt clicking. You can, go to 16 bits, 32 bits, whatever. A lot of people just work in 8-bit, or you can click it and change it in here. So what that means is that when you set up your project and you choose your bit depth, that's how many bits are either your filters and such that you're going to put on your layers, how many bit channels they're going to affect. So technically, if you don't have anything more than an 8-bit layer, like a piece of video, say, which most people won't, then most people just keep it in 8-bit because that's just what makes sense if you don't have anything more. But it is good to notch it up, to 8, or if you have the processing power, up to 32, because that'll give you some really nice color when you're color correcting, and you can get much finer. And I'll go along here a little bit and show you guys a little more what I'm talking about. Just to go back to this 8-bit thing, though, I've got a comp. Here we go. This is my little math comp. So where does this all come from? Okay, well, having 8 bits per channel means that you have 256 gradations of that color of the pixel. So, once again, what the heck does that mean? Well, if we go back here and look at this, a 1-bit channel only has 2 gradations. A 2-bit channel has 4 gradations, 4-bit, and so on. So we can test this out. We can figure out how many gradations we have for each channel using this math right here. So you go 2 to the power of whatever your bit channel is, and that's how many gradations you have. So for instance, let's just test this out on another one. So, okay, let's take our 4-bit channel. Alright, if you guys look really closely, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it with the compression, but I'm going to count how many gradations of this bar there are. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 gradations. And we'll plug that in to our little formula. Whoops. Here, so that's 16. So it should be if 2 to the 4 should equal 16. I'll pull up the calculator. So we'll go 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 equals 16 bits. Or excuse me, 16 gradations. So a 4-bit image has 16 gradations, as this shows. Okay, so just to go back. Now, you might also be wondering, okay, cool, Mark, good job. You can do 2 to the 8th, and that equals 256. Well, what does that number mean? Well, let's just take this while we're at it. Let's put on a levels filter on here. Now, let's just make this a little bigger. Look at that. That number right there is the gradations. 250, and well, the reason it's 255 is because it counts 0 as a value. So if 0 is a value, then it's 255. If it starts at 1, then, you know, it's 256. So, okay, this part is a little harder to conceptualize, but bear with me. So now, if we were to have an image that were, you know, maybe 4 or 5 to, you know, a lower value bit depth image, then let's just move this and watch what happens. Okay, so see how the grays, these are turning to black faster and in bigger chunks. So essentially, and it will not affect these lower ones until the one before it is gone. So you can imagine, you know, if you were to have a 2 or a 4-bit image, let's just say, if you go in here to color correct, those gradations disappear so quickly and in such large chunks. And maybe not everybody has seen it before, but even sometimes when you're correcting in 8-bit, you know, working with an 8-bit image, sometimes if you're trying to get some really fine detail, you will see some banding because, you know, you're putting so much math on these pixels, and when you get precise, they block out. So that's one of the reasons for that. And, you know, I mean, most video that, you know, consumers will shoot is 8-bit, so, you know, don't be scared or anything, but I just want to show you how cool this is. So a lot of times, you know, feature films, they'll be working in what a lot of people call a 32-bit float. So essentially they just have tons and tons of information per pixel to work with, and that's why they can get such fine color correction, and that's why it looks so great a lot of the time. Okay, now, Mark, once again, that's really, really riveting. Good job. Okay, well, let me show you why this is kind of cool. So, okay, I've got some green screen footage here that I shot of my buddy, and hold on, I just have to correct. This footage always comes in a little wonky. Cool. And so what we're going to do is, and it's pretty shaky. I took a pretty shaky part. What we're going to do is we're going to track these tracking markers in front of the green screen here. So I've pre-comped it once, and I'm just going to pre-comp it again quickly. Okay, so the second pre-comp is going to be our track. Okay, so we're in our track, and let's track motion. Okay. Let's just find one out here that he might not necessarily hit. Let's do this guy. Let's give it a little space because it's a little shaky. Actually, let's move it down a little bit. Let's find a different one. It's too close to the edge. Okay. There, that'll do. Alright, and let's track this and see what happens. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. As you can see, floating away. Cannot find anything. Nope. So, well, I guess we can't track that footage, right? Wrong. Check this out. Let's go into our pre-comp. So this track was the one we just tracked, which is this composition is nested in the track. So let's go into this first one. All right, we're gonna just apply a curves on here, okay? All right, and we're just gonna go crazy. All right, we're gonna pull that sucker way down. Just bump it up. Okay, now we got those really sticking out. Obviously, it doesn't look anything like it originally should have, but that's okay. Let's just go with it, all right? Let's just track that and see what happens. So I think I can access my same track that I did here. There it is. Okay. So we got the same exact track. Let's now track forward and see what happens. Look at that. It's nailing it. It's taking longer, yeah, because it has to apply the curves and everything. But look, it's sticking right on there. We've even got some nasty motion blur, but the track is still sticking. That is so cool. So we've color corrected a shot to track it. So it's like a pre-color correction. Now, once we have this track, we can just ditch that color correction or just apply this track to, you know, the same clip, and it's going to stick just fine. Look at that. It's got it perfectly. And this is all thanks to bit depth. So I guess basically what I'm trying to say is that just because it doesn't look like your information is there, like in this case, you know, those markers are so close to the color of the green screen, but there's still enough information there to grab, you know, to pull a track. And it's the same with pulling mats, you know. So let's see what we can do here. Let's throw a tint on here. Come on. Alright. So we got a black and white image. Let's throw curves back on before it. So granted, it's only for one side of his face, but right there, you can see, just using a LumaMatte, that with a little bit of pre-color correction, we can pull a matte for him right there. So, you know, and then once again, all thanks to bit depth. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. I know it's kind of nerdy, it's kind of mathy, but I think bit depth is super duper interesting. And this, you know, mind you, all this tracking stuff it did, that's all in 8-bit. So don't feel like, you know, you're losing out on much. It's just all about knowing how to, you know, manipulate your pixels, basically, and how much math you can apply to them before, you know, banding occurs or just pushing it to the limit. So, yeah, thanks again, guys. If you can check out my website at colorcram.com. It's under construction right now, but it should be up and running. It actually may be up and running by the time this tutorial is online, which would be awesome. You guys can follow me on Twitter, and that's at colorcram. And I've got a blog, which my site will soon take over my blog, but my blog is markrleonard.blogspot.com. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this nerdy tutorial. Thanks. Bye.